IOD members export, something like 60% of them export something, but mainly that's to Europe. A lot of them are a bit nervous about countries like China, which are much more challenging in terms of their legal system, the kinds of people who are there, credit risks, and those are all problems. So talking to Jonathan Fenby, who's a long-time China watcher, was editor of the South China Morning Post, and really knows the field, knows the opportunities, knows the potential, knows the challenges, gives our members the chance to get a first-hand insight into what might be in Chinese economic growth for them.
The sheer speed and scale of China's rise, economic expansion, has of course attracted a lot of admirers, and it has to be admired. There will be big opportunities, I think, for business, foreign business, British business in China in the years ahead, but it'll be in the areas where, in a sense, China needs foreign expertise, foreign technology. The idea of going to China, taking advantage of cheap labor and big export markets, that really is not going to last for long, and the Chinese know it.
I find this kind of evening semi-informal, really interesting. I think his expertise comes through.
There was a basic political narrative underlying the economic growth which set in from the 1980s.
He captured current thinking. He gave a depth from his historical background, and he also has a visionary approach.
The ism which defines China in this century is not Confucianism, it's not Marxism, it's not Maoism, it's materialism.
I was interested in his ideas of whether China will dominate, and if so, why.
It will continue to be extremely important. It may, as I say, overtake the United States in terms of GDP output, but I think that the 21st century does not belong to China. They want to be respected by the United States as an equal, particularly an economic equal, but the kind of old-fashioned imperial power projection doesn't, I think, really lie in the future for China. And at the same time, China, and this is recognized by the new leadership in Beijing, has such an array of domestic challenges to face that its attention is going to be on that domestic scene.
I suppose I'm interested in your opinion on how likely it is to use its ownership of American debt as a bargaining tool or as blackmail.
When you owe the bank £100, you have a problem. When you owe it £1 million, it has a problem. And this is actually, China is in what we call the dollar trap. If you're going into China, you have to be sure and have a good convincing story, in a sense, that you are bringing China something that it wants and needs. You then have to decide whether you want to operate on your own or whether you want a joint venture partner, as a lot of the biggest enterprises do have in China. At that point, who do you choose as your joint venture partner? Most of the successful foreign companies I know operating in China have been there for a long time. They've often taken losses for a time. They've had their ups and downs and so on. But this is a long-term project.
Could you possibly comment on the importance of Myanmar and Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean for the Chinese?
China wants to project its power. It sees itself as that it should be the major power in East Asia, certainly. And then India, which you mentioned, which is interesting, because China at base sees India as an American surrogate.
The question I ask especially is regarding the latest reform about the higher education system in China. And he gave a very, detailed answer, especially how that's going to change the current, labor market shortage of producing engineers and all the technicians to support the long-term prosperity of Chinese economy. So I think in that sense, actually, it is very well informed. And obviously, there will be more need to be done, but probably I think for his, perspective, that's really, really good to have, expert like this to attend IOD events.
Jonathan, thank you very much indeed. It's been a fascinating